Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kel Sweetie, where we read books, we make art, and at a certain time of year, we start to holiday hunt. And today, we are going over our Halloween hunting goods that we have gotten over the last couple of weeks. Majority of it was during a day that I definitely blacked out and just decided to drive all over this city. Which I will get more into a little bit later, but some of these things I have found on eBay. A majority have come from Michael's, as well as some Walmart finds from the Bloody Disgusting line that had came out. At home, Joann's. We're covering the basics today. Basically everybody who has Halloween out there, I've hit them hard. So keep on following along if you're interested to see what I got. I'm going to hit you with a little bit of vlog footage and then we'll get into the haul. I'll see you on the other side. So yeah, a majority of that footage was from two shopping situations. I don't know how we kind of got here, and I feel like that's the thing with Halloween decor hunting. You leave one day because you're needing the serotonin boost, and you're like, I'm going to go hunt for this thing that I saw online that I know that I really want and everything. Let's see if a store out there has it. I'm a bit, like I've said before, I'm a big proponent of not like calling the store beforehand to see if they have it or buying it online, just because although I get frustrated because sometimes I can't find something, I really do enjoy the hunt, because when you do find that thing, it's such a signal in your mind that's just like, oh, I found this thing. It feels like a scavenger hunt. And so, that's kind of the whole joy for me personally. But I did have to drive out a ways because unfortunately, while you would think living in LA, you're like, oh, you guys probably get some of the things first. If you're not, like, you're new to Halloween hunting, they actually work from the East Coast and work their way over. And inner city LA usually doesn't get a lot of that stuff either early enough, or people already hit it so early. I have to drive out to the suburbs and further out to like the Pasadena area or Irvine area, the OC, in order for me to really kind of hit the jackpot with these things, which is why I drive. It's so much of a drive sometimes when I'm hitting all these places. But I'm really excited for what I've gotten so far, and I think it's really, like, I don't know, I think that because Halloween started getting put out so early this year, like April was when they started like putting out things that were kind of Halloween specific. I think that it's been very hard to pinpoint for a lot of us. I was talking to a couple other people in this like community about it, when the real start of Halloween hunting season really felt like it happened. Usually it's a very clear point in June where like Michael's or Joann's are at home. Usually all those three are the first ones to put out their Halloween, and it's usually in June, and it feels like a very clear Halloween hunting season has begun. Summerween is here, that type of thing. But because they started putting out everything so early in April, it's kind of felt very in the like, I don't know, I guess false start type of thing. I've already posted my first official Halloween hunting holiday haul video for this year, but I really feel like the hunt version of it, where it's like, oh, I'm driving around trying to find this like specific thing, really happened this week. And it's all because of Walmart. So I think I'm going to start there first, because I think that's the newest kind of thing that a lot of people are talking about and everything. I know a lot of y'all are here for the Joanns and the Michaels and Lee Max that I got and At Home and all that other stuff. But I want to kind of get this out the way first, because sometimes this is kind of a big deal. I feel like Walmart is not, you go to Walmart I think for the Christmas decor items I see a lot of, but Halloween I don't necessarily feel like you see like a lot of people going, oh, I need to hit like, you know, Walmart for like this decor item and stuff. Personally, I've not seen a lot of it. Christmas I see a lot of, but not necessarily Halloween. And I might, you know, this year, hey, I might be saying it now and then I look back and I'm like, no, there's definitely a lot of Halloween at Walmart. Anyways, if you don't know, Bloody Disgusting, which is a like horror press imprint or whatever that talks about new horror movies and books and items or whatever that are coming out, pop culture news, did a collaboration with Walmart to did a collaboration with a lot of smaller businesses within the horror arena, like Trick or Treat Studios and everything, to create this like section in their entertainment center area that usually has like, you know, you can find Funkos in near the DVDs and everything. You can find Funkos and different action figures of movies and stuff. Well, they made a specific area that was all Halloween horror movie specific. And I saw it on Instagram and I freaked out and I started going all these Walmarts all over the place trying to find it. And it was driving me crazy because I remember one day I had hit 6 Walmarts. None of them had it. I had hit, and the thing is that you kind of start, you're like, oh, I gotta find it. I gotta go out there and look for it as soon as I see it on Instagram. Because if I saw it, somebody else saw it. And that's the other thing, living in like a city full of other people who are part of your tribe, is that when something comes out and they have a few of it, best believe somebody else is out there looking for it. And that definitely happened with these items. I remember I spoke to one Walmart employee who literally told me, we get like basically 2 or 3 boxes for this, and that's it. And we're not even, every store isn't getting the same thing. So while we may get some things, another store may get something else. Then he had told me the item that you're looking for, oh, you can go maybe to this other spot. They may have it. I know that they were supposed to be getting 4. I was like, today? Only 4 today? Or like, and he was like, just 4. That's what we're getting. We're not restocking and we're only getting few quantities. And you start to lose your mind because you're like, that's crazy. Like the supply and demand, the consumerism, I'm a part of the problem. Enough jabbing my jaws. Let's get into what I got. I was on the lookout for this mini mask box that's from Fright Rags, and it looked like one of the classic Ben Cooper boxes, kind of. It had Michael on the front of it and the mask. As some people may know, Michael wasn't called Michael in the original movie. He was called The Shape. And on the front of that box, it calls him The Shape instead of Michael Myers, which was really a nice touch. And it's just like a little mini shape in a box. And the other thing about Walmart is that their prices are great. They're not, you know, this isn't a cheap hobby, of course. And it's also some of the reason why a lot of collectors start, you know, going around June, because to spread out the wealth as far as like your budget's concerned. And I still haven't found it, but I'm still on the lookout for it. But one thing that I really was looking for were these Ben Cooper trick-or-treaters. These, here we go. These may look familiar because I did another haul recently with some of their friends. Let's do a close-up of how amazing these look, because I really just can't stop talking about the quality of the action figures that NECA has come out with for these Ben Cooper trick-or-treaters. Everybody's losing their mind about these because of just how great they look. The box is fantastic and it really looks like those Ben Cooper boxes. The window on it with these characters around it is amazing. You don't even want to take it out of the box because it looks perfect in the box. And then the action figure itself is adorable because of the attention to detail. I mean, the masks look like they're that plastic plaster paper mache type of matte mask. The vinyl costume also looks absolutely perfect. And again, if you saw with the vampire Dracula costume, they really did kind of offer some diversity for the characters that they made, which I absolutely love because unfortunately that's not a normality. I think more and more we're starting to see it, but especially with Halloween things, it's not normal that we always find a lot of people of color in these action figures. And even for this one, there's a good amount that aren't, but just super excited to see just how much representation we kind of got there. Now, I say that with a grain of salt because while there's two like black boys on here and two brown boys on here, there are no brown or black girls on here. Now, keep in mind that they've now released two girls, one that was Creature, and like basically I haven't seen her in the flesh anywhere. It's almost like she doesn't exist. And then of course now I have the Witch, who is a girl one, which was also why I was excited to get her because they did offer some girls. Unfortunately, that's not something we see a lot. And they will be releasing a vampire girl at some point. Now, they haven't released all of the ones on the back of here, so we're waiting to see where the vampire girl, that's the one that I'm looking for. I'm not really a big fan of Phantom, and they have a devil version 2.0 that has a black boy, and I'm just not really I'm not really big on the devil iconography around Halloween. It kind of gives it a bad name. But I do love the vampire girl, and I think that she's really cute. Now, unfortunately, it would have really been great to also have, maybe you had a black boy and then you had a black girl. And the same goes for the brown-skinned characters that we have here. Just because, again, representation, it would have taken 2 more seconds to still use the same mold of the ponytails that you have on the girls and just have, I mean, they don't even need to do the faces. That was the great thing about these molds, is that they just needed to do the mask. That's my one complaint. I know they're already giving us diversity, but you have to be like, hey, I like where the direction you're moving in, but you still got to go a little bit further. I look for these everywhere. Everywhere. I was convinced. Now, I do know for a fact that these are limited exclusives to Walmart. So I've heard on forum boards, like on Halloween Forum, that these are exclusive to 2 months and then they'll release these wide. I'm not sure what wide means, if it'll be on the NECA site or just online somewhere. Also, even if it does release on the NECA site, one thing I did learn even from the first wave that came out on NECA site is that it sold out very, very quickly. So, and I expect the same for these, to be honest. I think that they may be releasing some of these other ones that haven't come out yet on the NECA site. So who knows how I'm going to get that vampire girl, but I now have 5 of these babies, and I need to figure out how they're going to be displayed year-round, because I will be displaying these year-round. These are just amazing, and I'm so excited to have found them. They were $20. $20 a piece. Now, if you remember, I got mine for $30, and I was willing to do that. It did break the bank and everything, but I was willing to do that. The original price on these is the $20, so they didn't upcharge these or anything, and it did feel more affordable. Just $20 most people have, and that was another reason as to why I really wanted to get them as soon as possible at Walmart, because the price really was, it was a great price. These look amazing. I'm so excited. Like when I saw these in the store, these were the last ones. They had literally put out the display that day, and I know that for a fact because I'd gone the day before to that same Walmart and they didn't have anything out. So I know for a fact that they had just put out that display, and when I saw the Witch first, and then I was freaking out that I didn't see the Dracula, because I really wanted the Dracula as well. And then I kind of moved some things, and this one was sitting underneath it, and I got so lucky. I grabbed them up immediately. And again, like I said, that I've been seeing in a couple of photos and stuff, they're not restocking these. once they're sold out, they're sold out. It's not like, oh, do you have a few more in the bag? It's like, no, they've gotten 4. And I think it's because of that limited exclusivity some of these items have. So this is so exciting. I'm so happy that I got these. Again, I think if and how they release the vampire girl, I'll get her, and that'll be it for me. For me personally, the Phantom and the Devil one is just like not for me. And I'm not really pressed on getting Creature either, to be honest. She's cute, but she's not necessarily like a necessity or anything. But can't believe I found these, and it was really dope that Walmart did this special exclusive small space. I don't even know what they're calling it. It's a collection and everything. I thought that that was really cool, especially because I feel like Walmart gets forgotten as a place to kind of shop at for certain things. Of course, because like of its reputation and everything. I feel like Target kind of gets a little bit more love as far, especially for the Halloween hunters. And I think this kind of put it in the game. Another thing that I got from the Blade Disgusting collection line was actually something that I wasn't necessarily looking for, but at one of the places that I did find stuff, they had the collection out, but they just didn't have these. Was this adorable ghost face? Oh, he's so cute. He's he's just a little doll. And he's got these little like plastic hands, and his face is actually really substantial. I love that they did his face like this and everything. And he just kind of sits on your little shelf. But I really loved him. I thought that he was so cute, and he was 16 bucks, which I thought was a good price. I mean, again, like if you go to places like Target and everything, I think that my little guy who shakes my little ghost face who shakes around and stuff, I think he was 30. And a lot of like action figures and stuff, this is the prices you're kind of looking at. So I'm I'm just still, I think that he's cutest little accidental find ever. So those are the things that I got from Walmart. I'm really happy with what I found. I'm so glad that I found what I did, and I will still be on the lookout for those mini masks. I feel like they're in less demand, low key, kind of. I want to say that, but I won't be like searching all around town like I was for these. I was pressed on these. Two other items that I got were actually from eBay. I like to kind of thrift on eBay. It's something that I started doing during the pandemic because I couldn't go to thrift stores physically. And it's also a great space if you're looking for something specific that you want to thrift or find vintage or antique and everything. It's really great space for it. I've really learned to love eBay, especially for my Halloween and Christmas decor hunting for certain things, as well as antiques, historical antiques, because I do collect those year round. And me and my partner right now are obsessed with X-Files. I've mentioned this, it's the whole reason why I got the Joann's tree hugger, that's the alien, because my Monster Mash area, I want to feature and kind of like some X-Files homages for the aliens and monsters in the show, because honestly, it's just amazing. That show is creepy and amazing, and just, it aged, honestly, a good portion of it aged really well. I mean, at the end of the day, it was still shot in 1993, but it was light years ahead of anything. Some Mulder and Scully action figure. They are genuine action figures. They're so nice. This is the one with Mulder. And this is Scully's. And they just look so great. I mean, at the end of the day, these were made in I think 99, 98 is the copyright on it. I love that this one has like an alien, that the Mulder one has him with an alien, of course, because it's Mulder, spooky Mulder. And then I also love that this, I can't believe they got the okay to have like a dead body in a body bag. But I did want that one for Scully, considering that she's the medical examiner of the duo. But I still can't believe that like they actually okayed, like, yeah, we can put a dead body on a gurney. That's most definitely fine. So these were the two that I received. This one has an extra like little gurney. Like this one only has him and the alien in the flashlight, as opposed to this one, which has the body bag and the gurney and the cell phone. I think both of these were really great, and I can't wait to put them up with our alien. I don't know what else like I think that that will be it for the X-Files stuff, because I feel like it's a good match for the things that they talk about and the things that are in the show to go in the Monster Mash area, especially with the alien and everything. But I don't really want to focus too much on having it, because I eat space, and also I don't want to get too lost in the weeds on like, oh, just having a lot of movie memorabilia. As y'all have seen, I have Universal monsters, and I have slasher films, and now I have something that's a little bit more speculative. I plan on putting my Buffy over there, and if I find any other cool Buffy memorabilia, I want to put it over there. I'm still figuring out how I want to kind of put it over there. Y'all know I'm a maximalist, so there's gonna be like chaos, but controlled chaos. Um, and honestly, again, just as I do with my Buffy action figure that I found, more than likely I will keep these out year round instead of just keep bringing them out for Halloween, just because these are a collectible type of thing rather than a holiday thing. Excited to see how they look with the alien that we have, and kind of just adding a little bit more to that space. So that was from eBay. Now we can get on to the big box stores. I'm going to just not start with Michael's, because Michael's is the biggest haul from everything, and I kind of want to get through rapid fire fast before I start pulling out some of the things that are from Michael's, because they're Lee Max boxes. Yes, they're Lee Max boxes, not just figures. This is the year that it happened, and it'll take me a little bit, so let's just move through this first. First off, we're gonna do Joann's, because I bought all that stuff before I found the at-home items, and so memory. First off, the first thing that I bought that I felt like from Joann's that I just felt like was the most adorable thing when I saw it was this little jack-o'-lantern guy with this little witch shoes. Look at these. These are so cute. It's like, this is very vintage. It's very cute. I love the idea of this. This is most definitely going to get put, I feel like it's going to get put up at the top of my bookshelves again, and filling this with some newspaper and some shredded paper up at the top, and then maybe putting some action figures or other different things in here, like loose items, small things. Again, the maximalism. It's all about where the small things go instead of the big things. And I think that this is so cute. Now, it's meant to be a planter. It has even a little hole at the bottom for you to use it as that. And it has like this little bar in the back of it as like stabilization if you're worried about that. I want to be using him for that. But I am so excited to have gotten it. Now, was it pricey? Most definitely. This was originally priced at $40. And as y'all know, there's 40% off right now, because that's what Joann and Michaels does. They put out stuff and they basically drop it as soon as they put it out, essentially. So, did I pay $30 for this? Yes. And it was a lot of money. Am I still happy with what this was? Absolutely. So we just move on. We move on to that. I only got this that day, so in the moment, that's again how you end up buying, like spending money like this, is because you're just like, oh, I'm just getting this one thing, and I absolutely love this thing, so fine, we'll do that. As opposed to if you buy a ton of things and you're like, ooh, gotta be put back. Some gonna have to be put back. So I'm really happy I got this one. I really think that I've seen him maybe twice. Once, well, I saw him one other time, other than the time I found this one and got it. And every time I've seen it, I've seen like maybe a few. So I think people are definitely getting this one. But I was really happy with that purchase. I was also on the hunt for this ghost, this vintage ghost. It is the year of the ghost. Disco balls and ghosts are definitely the trends this year. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's vintage Halloween. One more year where we don't have vintage Halloween. But there was a vintage looking ghost. Now, I'm particular about my ghosts for historical reasons. So But I did love the little sheet ghost that I was seeing pop up at Joann's. Now, they have a wall, it turns out it's a wall hanging, but like it's a ghost that has a jack-o'-lantern that lights up and it's adorable. I looked everywhere, I've yet to see it in person. I feel like it's a myth, it doesn't exist. But regardless, this was before I found out it was a wall hanging. Not only it's a wall hanging, I'm like, I'm not really as pressed about it because I don't put up wall hangings. I put up statues and stuff like that. So it really wouldn't work in my space, I don't think. Again, I would have to see it in person to see if it would, but I'm not pressed for it now knowing that it's a wall hanging. They did have, and this is where the obsession started, these ornaments of that same ghost though. And there he is. He's adorable. Now, I don't have a Halloween tree, a spooky tree. I use a tree for Christmas, and that is all. So you may be going, okay, Lynn Kelsey, where are you going to put this? Well, he sits up perfectly on his own and everything if you have a flat surface, not my hand. He does sit up on his own and he balances. Or putting him inside of, like I said, another jack-o'-lantern box or whatever. I think that he'll work out fine. The top of him, I can take this gold bit off, but I don't think, I kind of like this antiqued gold cap on the top of him, so I may just take off the string that's on this and then just use it as a freestanding little ghost. I thought he was really cute. Now he was $9.99, which is wild, but take 40% off that. Still don't know how much that was, probably like $6 and some change, $6.49 or something. But he was really cute and I really liked the whole vintage look of him. I don't know who would be paying that much for like what 3 or 4 of these if you wanted them as a statement ornament on your tree, because people usually have the pencil trees for their spooky trees if they are doing it. I don't know, that seems to get pricey, but I did like it as just a standalone piece. Another ornament that I really did like, and I'd seen this one while I was just sitting, I was just there looking at the other ornaments and everything, was this adorable little cat in a jack-o'-lantern, and it lights up like that, which is kind of making it hard for you to see the jack-o'-lantern, so I'm going to turn it off. But that's what the little cat looks like on their little jack-o'-lantern, and it looked very 90s to me. I absolutely really liked all the little stars on the cat and the coloring on them. Just really liked how it looked. Again, that vintage look that I'm always looking for, and the fact that it lit up like that. I'm gonna cut off this little bit that makes it an ornament, and then it'll just be a figure that just stands on its own. And I really like smaller stuff. I get salt and pepper shakers that are kind of sculptural and use them more like figures instead of what they're made for, their use and everything. And so I really like getting some of these smaller things to fit inside of those spaces when I start decorating for that Maximus look. So those I really loved. And then, although I did not find the wall ghost, I did find this great pumpkin ghost, and I didn't know that they were making the pumpkin ghosts. I'm now seeing them everywhere, but at first I didn't see them. And I just loved like the vintage, the off-white brushed look of the ghost with his little pumpkin, and he's inside this pumpkin coming out of it, and it lights up. And it lights up with a regular light. It is not that color light. I thank you all so much for validating my feelings toward the colored lights. A lot of y'all also said, like, I don't know who made that a thing, but let's bring back just a glow light, especially on items that look more vintage. So this one has that glow traditional light on it, and it looks really great. I'm sure like when it's at night and put up somewhere, it looks great with that light on. I don't know if I'll be turning it on because of where I'll probably be placing it is either over near my Spooky Town area or up on my bookshelf, but I am happy with this one. I took off the tag already, so I'm not certain how much this one was, but they do have a version that doesn't have the jack-o'-lantern, which I thought was interesting that they released 2 different kinds of basically the same pumpkin. Really, really love this. I'm considering the possibility of painting some with some orange like designs on here possibly, just to kind of amp up the vintage look of it. But again, that's a maybe, not a definitely. The last thing that I got from Joann's is also going to go in my Monster Mash area. The Monster Mash area is getting a lot of love this year because it's brand new. It's a brand new thought. And that is this Bates coated haunted house. Let's look at that up close. And if you look, there's like this little, the people in the windows and everything. This also lights up. It's very low because it's not, you know, I have like a whole light on you, but it's very Bates coated. Like this house on the hill with like this stair step. Now, it does not look exactly like the Bates house, but with these people in the windows and everything, and it having this like Victorian look to it, and these stair steps that are all the way up on this hill, I just automatically saw it and I thought of the Bates Motel and Psycho, and I loved it. I absolutely, now this wasn't very hard to find. I know that a lot of people have been seeing the other haunted house that they have currently, and while I saw it and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. It looks nice. The paint job on it is horrible. There is a ghost that is kind of sticking its head out on the side, and if you look closely, they're supposed to be like under an awning of some sort, and you can see where the rest of the ghost is, and it's not painted. I think that wherever they had sent the design to be made, they missed that, and so all of their houses, haunted houses, have had that. Now you can paint it. It bothers me that I have to pay that much money and you're still like, and I have to paint this in for you, as well as the fact that honestly the orange and yellow paint that's on there is a little sloppy. So I'm not a huge fan of that one. I have one that I got from, I believe, Ross last year that is similar but actually larger, and it's just better quality. So I'm not really stressed on getting that haunted house, but I really did want this one because it was definitely giving Bates Motel coated. I have this idea. We will see if I have time for it once I get in a craft mode, where I kind of want to make this Bates Motel sign down here to sell. That's what this is giving, because right now it's just because my mind is there. And now that I've kind of told you, like, you're starting to kind of see it, but I want you to see it as soon as you look at it. So that may be a craft in the works. We will see about time, but I really do feel like I want to do that because I don't want to explain why it kind of looks like it's Bates Motel. I want you to kind of automatically get it. I feel like the way that the architecture is, if there was a sign in front of it for the Bates Motel, you would automatically get it. So, things to come. The next things that I have to show are from At Home. Of course, a lot of people know At Home has been putting out tons of stuff over the last couple of weeks. They have started the Halloween stuff. I think it was Joann's put out Halloween stuff, like official Halloween stuff. And then it was At Home, and now Michael's. So they've been putting it out for some time. But again, living in LA, we're some of the last ones to get At Home things. So I did have to drive out away. She had mentioned that they had Halloween stuff out for maybe 2 weeks. But I was looking at the store and it looked like they had just put it out, to be honest. So I don't know how true that was. But I did, again, get something for the Monster Mash area as well as something for the kitchen. One of the things I got for the Monster Mash area was this hand. Now, the hand is supposed to be put on the wall. It's like a hanger. So you're supposed to put it on the wall like upside down, and then you can hang your, oh god, to hang keys on that would be so cool. Or you put your coat on it or whatever the case is. I want to use it more as a, just like a hand, like a thing, like a zombie or something along those lines. If you look closely, like the design and the detail in it, I really did love. This was $13, which I thought was really approachable for like an item like this, that it's heavy, it's not made out of styrofoam and everything, and it was done pretty well. I think that it looks really good. So This is for the Monster Mash area as like an idle hand. I got this beauty. This cute canister. So I have been seeing these canisters for a while. Joann's has one that is smaller. Unfortunately, it's very clear, of course, that a lot of these companies are buying in bulk from other companies overseas, and they're all buying from the same people because there's no real contract, it's looking like. Because Joann's is actually selling this, if you saw from that video or from a vlog that I've done, this same canister in a smaller size is being sold at Joann's. I don't remember the pricing for it, but At Home actually has that same canister. And I think I mentioned it in the video. I was like, I think we've seen this before. We have. They're selling the same exact thing. And actually, At Home, that blow mold, ghost blow mold that everybody lost their minds over last year that was being sold at Michael's, if you missed out on it, don't worry, because it's at Home this year. I just think that it's very interesting to be seeing like doubles of things out and about. I need to check the price on them because I think it'd be very interesting to see how they're pricing them differently if they are, as opposed to this larger one. I know for a fact Joann's isn't selling, and I needed the larger one. Me and my partner really did like how the smaller one looked, this look of it, because it looked very like, it didn't look kiddish. Like, this looked like, oh, that's nice. Like, that's actual ceramic and everything. But the smaller one that they were offering, it just wasn't big enough to hold snacks in. So the idea of this is that it'll sit on our counter to put things that are usually out on the counter in our bread basket. We'll put it in here instead, just to kind of clear up the countertops while still being in theme. And this still felt perfect for a witch kitchen to have this out, and it's like classy and nice. This one was $24.99, so I think that the smaller one might be $16.99 or $14.99, but pretty affordable. I'm not certain how much Joann's is charging for theirs, but you know, it's probably a lot more, and then they're thinking, oh, but the 40% off is going to take that down. So we'll see. I mean, well, I guess y'all see. I'll kind of, I'm interested now to see how much, like, if there's a price difference. But I think it's very interesting that both of them are selling the same canister, and some people, I haven't heard a lot of people talk much about that yet. So I don't know, but this, I was really excited to see. It just really looks really nice, and I think it's going to look great on our countertops come Halloween. Now, last but not least is my Michael's haul. Michael's got my money. Michael's definitely got my money. And no, it's not the hippie hollow line that everybody is so polarizing. I'm surprised to see how many people are just like vehemently like angered by that line. And it kind of feels a little bit, I don't know, it just feels it feels a tad bit extreme, the anger and hatred towards that line. I think that, one, I'm not mad at Michaels for thinking outside the box. If I see one more, like we just spoke about how two different places are selling the same item because of the lack of care in actually curating these items, I at least like Michaels is trying to do something different. And I think there's a lot of people who love Halloween but are not doom and gloom or dark or traditional Halloween. They love the idea of Halloween. They love, you know, the ghost and stuff, but they have a lighter aesthetic. Not everybody who loves Halloween is childless or is dark or emo or part of the goth scene or likes black. And I think that this is a great opportunity for anybody who has younger kids who like Halloween to still stay in that lane of being younger and decorate their rooms with some of these items. Or if they're bright and colorful, I know that Halloween Homemaker that's her whole aesthetic is groovy Halloween. And so to hear so many people be so upset and think that this ugly collection and stuff, I feel like it's a lot of just being very evil spirited, to be honest. Michaels has not finished putting out all their stuff yet. Just because it's not traditional. I mean, I'm as traditionalist as it comes when it comes to like a lot of my Halloween stuff. And I just think that it's been a little bit harsh to see people kind of act that way towards the line, when obviously when you look at some of the figures, the skeleton figures, which has a lot of kids involved in it. There's even like skeleton like children and skeleton mom and dads or whatever together. You can tell that it's made for a younger group of people, or like a lighter group of people. And so I think that like that's thinking outside the box. I think it's looking at a group in the community that isn't heard as often, who's not like, oh, give me slasher horror, or give me, you know, something creepy or something black, or, you know, the black and orange or whatever. I can't keep that up year round, but I love like some of the spirit of Halloween. Yeah, that's my two cents on it. I just think that people have been a little bit harsh on it. I personally will not be buying anything from the Hippie Hollow line, but I did see it in person, and I do think that some of it does really, like those flocked items look really great in person. Honestly, if they would have maybe released those in regular traditional colors, I could see tons of people lining up to try and go get those things. So, you know, I don't think it's the items whatsoever. I think people are just, I think a lot of people feel like they're not being catered to from these companies who are putting out Halloween, and we should be like feeling more than ever more catered to, have more things than ever and choices to find. But a lot of us are thinking that they're just missing the mark. And while yes, I totally agree that I think they missed the mark with the Nevermore collection, that's why there's so much of it left, or Joann's releasing their collection as well, their early collections. I don't feel like this is really missing the mark. It's just looking at a different audience within the community, and that just needs to be respected. Michaels is already putting, if you check out their Canada site, you will see what they're going to be putting out soon, and I can already tell they have a collection called Midnight Moon, and that's probably going to be the collection I will be buying from the most. They have a vampire bust and planner, Dracula planner, that looks really great, and I think it's going to go great in the Monster Mash area. They have some Frankenstein. Now, they redid the Frankenstein bust, and it does not look as good personally as other years that they've done the bust, in my opinion. I think they're reusing a lot of the Headless Horseman things that came out from the Edgar Allan Poe, because there's a lot of repeats in that collection that have the Edgar Allan Poe stuff that we saw last year with Ichabod Crane. And I think that they made some changes because they realized they messed up by calling, you know, the book Nevermore, when the book isn't called Nevermore, it's The Raven. They went back and they changed some things to try and fix their mistake. There's also supposed to be a lot of like a white rose line that I think they're calling it, that is basically just white and minimalist, which I think if you're a person who loves Halloween but has a minimalist household or sans color, I think this is a perfect time for you to be like checking out Michaels, because they're going to release a whole lot of stuff that is going to fit your year-round Halloween. So a little bit of tidbit on that. I think, you know, although my heart is breaking because I didn't see any traditional Halloween, like traditional antique vintage looking Halloween, I really missed the boat in 2021 because I wasn't into it yet. And that was arguably one of the best like vintage collections ever. It breaks my heart. And I keep on hoping one year that they just bring it back. They bring something of it back, and they haven't yet, but there's still many years to come. However, I went to Michael's, and I went to two. First one I went to, I didn't see any Halloween. However, they did have their spring stuff on sale for 60% off. So I did pick up a lot of like herb and dried florals for my witch kitchen to put in the different jars and stuff that we're getting, as well as use towards the broom that I want to be making this year for my witch kitchen. I looked at some of the florals for fall, and for some weird reason, they didn't have a lot of dried florals that looked herby. So, and this was 60% off, so I ended up getting this like tons off. So that was really great. I got that at the very first place that I went to. The second place that I went to had all the it had a good portion of the Halloween out. They had a lot of it out, and they were just putting out the Limax. And I've been saying this since we first saw the Lemax thing that they were going to be doing earlier this year, that this was going to be the year that I buy a Lemax building. And that had to do with the fact that they finally brought back a lot of their trick-or-treating things that were like, you know, their trick-or-treaters as like figures and stuff. But one thing I really loved is that they released their trick-or-treating houses. So when I saw these little cottages, houses, and everything for the trick-or-treaters, I lost it because I thought these were so nice, and I knew that they were gonna cost a lot. I was like prepared. I was like, okay, this is gonna be my big purchase this year. And while it was not as much as I thought that it was gonna be once I got finished ringing up, you know, with discounts and everything like that. This is the skeleton, the gentleman skeleton at that. His house is so nice. It has these little tombstones and jack-o'-lanterns out front, and he's waiting with candy for the trick-or-treaters. Then there's Frankenstein house, which is all boarded up. It also has tombstones in the front of it, as well as some jack-o'-lanterns, but it's got a bit of a funkier vibe as opposed to the gentleman skeleton's house. And then the last one that I found, there are 4 altogether. I think there's a banshee that I'm missing, and there's one, actually, I think there might be 5. But I know there for a fact that the banshee one I didn't get, but I wasn't pressed really to get the banshee. The last one that I was looking for was the witch one, and I did find that one as well. And it's cute. It's got, of course, it's cobblestoned and everything because she's a witch and stuff. And it has a little skeleton sitting out front and a cat on the front and stuff. Now these can light up. Their front porches can light up with AC, the AC adapter. So you have to buy that separately. I don't know if I'm going to end up buying it at all as of where I kind of put it. We'll see. I think that I can probably buy some AC adapters online, like a pack of them for cheap, because I don't want to buy the Lemax ones just because they're probably just normal AC adapters and they're charging extra for the name. But I'm really happy I got those. Those were the ones that were really, like, they were costly, as y'all saw. They're 20% off right now, all of the Lemax items, and I'm positive in another week or two, it'll drop to 40. And I could have waited, but my situation is that people really collect the Spooky Town from Lemax, and I know for a fact that these houses are going to sell. I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to find them if I waited until they went further down in price. So I just bit the bullet and I got them. And since I was buying those, I decided, well, let's buy the characters too. And because I always do get the characters. One of them being this great one that features the trick-or-treaters and this little deadly plant. So cute. I really wanted to make an effort to buy up any of the trick-or-treaters that I could find because my town, in years past, they've only really done monsters. They've not really done any trick-or-treaters or anything like that. It's something that they haven't done in a very long time for the lines, and so I really wanted to take advantage and get those. And here's another batch of trick-or-treaters. An older woman handing out treats to them and their dog. And of course, as per usual, unfortunately, but as per usual, I am going to paint these because while we have seen representation in some of the Christmas ones as of late, when we still not seen them in the Halloween ones. And there is though a Lemax figure group that I do want to get, and I think it's there's some witches in a garden, younger witches in a garden, and one of them is black. So I am looking for that one. They had some other witch things there, but they're all like the older looking witches and stuff that I'm not really keen on. I am looking for that one, and I think that's the only one that I'm looking for still. They had all the other ones that I wanted, like this cute Frankenstein and bride coming out of the movies. They had this amazing cinema. Out of any of the others that I saw, like as far as like really big, that have the animatronics, like stuff and everything, that cinema I almost got it because it looked amazing. There were ghosts in and everything. Dracula was at the front door, things lit up. It was gorgeous, but they wanted $129 and it just wasn't gonna happen. Another thing that I got was this amazing werewolf as well. Of course, I wanted to get all the classic, and there's might be a bit of a glare on that in the little container, but I thought he was also really cute as well. So that's what I got as far as the Limacs were concerned. I thought that they were so cute, and I can't wait to put them into my spooky town. I am still waiting to see like what tin houses I may add. Now that I have these, I don't know if I will get any new tin houses. We'll see as time comes on. But the only thing I had left that I surprisingly got at Michael's was this mini blow mold. So last year, everybody lost their minds over the larger of this little blow mold, and it was just too large for my house. But this was the perfect size, and I absolutely loved it. I wish that he glowed instead of did the LED lights, but I think that it's really adorable, and it has that little kind of vintage ghost look to him, and so I knew that I really needed to pick him up. And that is basically everything, y'all. Like I said, I didn't know that I was going to be having this much stuff. I didn't know that I was gonna be like looking for this or hit the jackpot like I did the day after the other day. A lot of this grew really within the last week or so, and I'm trying to keep some of these hauls to a minimum, again because of some of the budget. I swear I'm going thrifting soon for some more Halloween and not just hitting big box stores. I know that I did a huge haul that kind of gathered everything I had gathered over like a month or so, and honestly there were like 2 parts to that, so I just felt like that was far too much. But this is over like the last 2 weeks, so I feel like that's more obtainable instead of having 2-parters, especially considering like more and more things are coming out. We get into home goods, and I know that people are starting to see some stuff at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. This is going to kind of start to happen a little bit more over 2 weeks and everything, but I don't know if it's going to necessarily be as big, especially considering that each Home Goods and Marshall's and TJ Maxx puts out different things everywhere, as opposed to Michael's and all of them kind of having set things that they have out, and once you found what you found, that's it. I mean, other than Michael's is supposed to be putting out their Midnight Moon collection on July 26th, according to the Canada site. And that's really what I'm looking for as far as from Michael's. Joann's I'm done with. Same thing. At Home still has the witch that I'm kind of looking for, but I'm not necessarily pressed for her. I think, you know, looking at it at home every now and then while I'm out hunting, if I'm going by one, would be fine. But I'm not necessarily like, I need to find that. I really do love it because of, again, the conversation of representation, and she looks great. She looks like something from American Horror Story Coven, which I think is great, and I would love to see her in person to maybe see if there's a way, like with our Bates house, there's a way to kind of go about it where it kind of looks like, oh, I get exactly where that's from, or the reference for it. I don't know. I think that this year for Halloween hunting has been a little bit weird because of the early releases have really thrown people off, as well as like, I think that some of these people are starting to kind of call out some of these companies for not really the quality. I mean, the prices have gone up, of course, and people are just really hyper aware of like what's being put out right now because of it. I think it's just an interesting time to be Halloween decor hunting, especially because the community for Halloween decor hunting has really grown over the years for many different reasons. I personally think it has to do with the serotonin boost. A lot of people need the serotonin, but I'm really happy with what I've gotten so far. I think the Monster Mash area is going to be really great. Like the more I'm seeing it kind of come together. I want to get a marquee sign to really sell the whole blockbuster movie mash type of thing. I want to maybe get like a vintage popcorn bucket of some kind. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, it's all starting to kind of work out in my mind because I'm starting to see some stuff. And of course, as we get closer and closer, I plan in August to do a huge unboxing of all of the things I've had in storage as I put it all out. I think that's it for today. If you have enjoyed today's video, please subscribe down below. I will have more Halloween hunting videos as well as crafting videos and decorating videos all coming up within the upcoming months as we prepare for the best time of year. Halloween. And of course, in between a lot of those videos as well, I'll be doing a lot of book content, which I read a lot of horror, thriller, and speculative fiction here on the channel. So subscribe if you think that that sounds interesting to you. I don't want you to miss anything because the crafting and everything, as it all comes together, it really starts to come together for the Halloween stuff and the holiday stuff. So I'm really excited for that. Leave down below what you have, if you've seen anything this season so far that you're like on the hunt for or looking for and everything. I know that those Ben Cooper action figure kids have been a holy grail to a lot of people, but I've not seen like a Halloween from one of these big box stores holy grail just yet. I haven't seen anybody going, oh god, I really want that, where is that thing? So tell me what yours is down below. I'm interested to hear. Give me a like if you liked today's video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.